Smooth 98.1, love music, love life. It is 18 minutes past 5 p.m. this Monday evening, 4th day of March 2024. You're tuned into the Smooth Drive with Ayo and Joy. We are taking you on a journey, on a ride, and it's that time to get into the marketplace, where we get to talk about the markets and the latest developments, as well as what's trending within that space. And today, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about Binance, P2P trading, the Naira as well. I mean, if you know what's been going on, if you've been listening to latest developments, you probably would have heard about the crypto world and what's been going on with Binance and Nigeria and the Naira and so on and so forth. A lot has been said back and forth about that. And this evening, we're going to be talking about all that and a whole lot more. And joining us this evening are two special guests in the person of Karla Obakpolor, who's the founder of Crypto Smart, and Peter Iyen. He is a cryptocurrency trader. A very, very good evening to you, Karla, and Peter as well. Great to have you on the stream this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here. I think I've been here before, sometime last year, and thank you so much for having me a second time. Really grateful to be here. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure. And Peter joining us as well. Very good evening to you.
Hello, Peter. You're muted.
Your mic is actually muted.
Okay. Good to have you.
We can hear you now.
So yeah, well, thank you for having me. Thank you. It's good to be here.
All right. Yeah. All right. So let's get into the conversation. And talking about Bitcoin, I mean, you can't talk about crypto without talking about Bitcoin. And I'm going to begin with you on this, Karla. Bitcoin touched 65,000. That should be dollars earlier today, a level not seen since we came close in November 2021 when it touched 64,400. I can't even remember the last time I saw this level of numbers when it comes to Bitcoin. Now, what do you make of the climb in the price? I'll start with you, Karla, on this one.
Okay, thank you. First, this is a bull market. Like any crypto person knows that the bull market usually follows the Bitcoin halving cycle, which happens sort of like every 4 years. The last time we had this sort of rise was in 2021. I think between 2020 to 2021, that's when we had this sort of increase. So it's just common knowledge. The Bitcoin halving is coming in, and essentially what Bitcoin halving is the reduction of the supply of BTC that's being paid to the miners. So normal economics, when supply is reduced and demand stays the same, or demand increases, definitely price is going to increase. So that's what's happening this period. And besides, this is sort of like the kickoff of the bull run. We're going to see right now it's Bitcoin dominance. We're going to see altcoin dominance. We're going to see different altcoins that will come in later on, and you'll be wondering, is this possible? That's what happens during the bull market. And by the time the bull market is done, there'll come the dump and there'll come the bear market. So it's expected. We expected this.
Interesting.
All right, so Peter, what do you what is your own thought on this rise of Bitcoin right now in the market?
Okay, yeah. So as Karla mentioned, yeah, it was expected, and I think it was largely also dependent on the approval of the Bitcoin ETFs in the US. So that pretty much also allowed institutional investors or mom and pop investors, people not technically savvy, to put Bitcoin as part of their portfolios, part of their 401k plans, their retirement plans, and obviously that's increased demand. That's demand that wasn't necessarily there before. And it also gave Bitcoin a legitimacy, or it gave cryptocurrency as a whole a legitimacy in the eyes of the general public that, okay, the SEC, the SEC in the US is now beginning to look at this, and institutions are also kind of coming in and going to put some sort of guardrails to the whole ecosystem. So yeah, it was largely expected once the Bitcoin ETF was approved in January. And yeah, well, here it is. We're here to enjoy the ride.
Looks like
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I was wondering if that was
are worried about the wild price.
network.
About the wild price swings in cryptocurrency. Is it truly a wealth generator, or is it something that people should actually be wary about? They should be cautious when delving into the world of cryptocurrencies.
Who's that directed to?
Well, okay. I wanted
So
Karla
I guess I go.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I should go.
Yeah.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay,
Yeah, you can.
well, when you say an asset is a wealth generator, it means that asset is fulfilling a real world need, and from fulfilling that real world need, it's generating a profit which it then gives out to the investors. Now, in reality, as things stand right now, cryptocurrency assets do not fulfill a real world need, and as such, they are highly speculative. They're only speculative. Anyone buying cryptocurrency now is buying for one of two reasons. Either one, regulators or governments around the world would put the laws in place that would allow cryptocurrencies to now have real world applications. That's one reason, those who believe in that. Or alternatively, people are buying with the hope to sell to somebody else at a higher price. That's the second set of investors. And as things stand right now, you can't call it a wealth generating asset, because in actual fact, it's actually a negative sum in ecosystem. Because when you fund your cryptocurrency wallet on an exchange, or when you send your cash to an exchange and you buy Bitcoin or you buy Ethereum or any other cryptocurrency, you are paying, and you're paying a transaction fee. Now, if everybody's sending money in, paying transaction fees, the exchange is taking that transaction fee in physical cash. So it's actually a negative sum ecosystem. All the money that is going in is not all the money that will come out, because the exchange is taking out their own profits. You understand?
Okay.
So at the end of the day, it's not, but people will buy Bitcoin at 20,000 and sell at 60,000, and to them, it will be profitable.
It's
The
profitable.
guy that buys at 60,000 and sells at 40,000, it's not going to be profitable. So everybody in the ecosystem will not make a profit. A few people will, but a lot of people will lose their money. I hope it's one of those that make profits. So
what say you, Karla?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, he's spoken well. I think people should also understand that cryptocurrencies have three different features. One is they are assets. They are assets, first off. Just like you have your land as an asset, you have your properties as an asset. The difference is right now these are digital assets. And like any okay, let me finish first. First, they're an asset. Second thing is they are a commodity. They are commodities. So you can buy and sell them for profit. And that's where we're going to come to that part. That's where the P2P level comes in. That's where OTC trades come in. Just like you have bags and clothes that you buy at a certain price and you sell at a higher price because you want to make profit. Yes. And then the final thing is they are currencies. So they can be used to pay for goods and services and all. Now that's the thing that makes cryptocurrencies unique. That's why they're sort of like different from all the digital assets. Now, these three different features have three different ways that you can make money from them. If you're going to treat something as an asset, then you need to be aware of the risks, because when you invest in an asset, it's sort of like you are invested, right? So you need to be aware of some of the risks that are in that area. There isn't any investment product or platform that doesn't come with this risk. In fact, the idea of investment, yes, the idea of investment is high risk, high reward. You don't treat investment like savings. Savings is low risk. You don't want any issue. The money that you put in there, exactly what you put in there is what you wants to come out. So that's sort of different from investment. So it's not like this is only attributed to cryptocurrencies. It's actually attributed to anything that is treated like an investment. even in the property sector, you could buy land and probably somebody swindles you. You don't have the right papers and the land is taken away from you. But you thought you were going into the right investment and all. And so what you need to do is get the right education. All of these different assets have their rules. They have their do's and do nots. And so if you can arm yourself with that, you'd be able to buy Bitcoin when people don't want to buy and be able to sell at this period where everybody now wants to rush into the market to buy. Okay. So it's about you having the right information and being able to use it. Okay.
Right. All right. Information, they say, is key, and it is power as well. And I'm glad you actually talked about P2P trading. And I'm going to come to Peter on this one, even though, Karla, you're going to have your input on this as well. But let's talk about peer-to-peer crypto platforms. Peter, can you explain, like we're in kindergarten right now and we don't know what's going on? For those who have no idea what this actually is about, just break it down for us like we're in kindergarten right now, and just explain what peer-to-peer, aka P2P trading actually is.
Okay, so the two types of trading. You can either buy from an institution, so you go to buy your goods from supermarkets or whatever, you buy from an institution. But then in the peer-to-peer trading, you're buying directly from the owner of that asset, so of that thing. So let me go down to institutions, kindergarten level. So let's say I wanted to sell I don't know, my television, for example, right? And you want to buy a television, or Kayla wants to buy a television, right? So I go on, I go on Smooth FM Marketplace and I say, oh, I want to sell my television. Kayla says, okay, I want to buy a television. Kayla, in the peer-to-peer trading ecosystem, Kayla sends me the money, notifying the Smooth FM marketplace that she has sent me money for the television that I advertised. Obviously, I've already sent my specifications on the marketplace that this is what I have to sell. And then she sent me the money. And then I send Kayla the television. Does that make sense? So the television is held by the Smooth FM marketplace.
Right.
And once I confirm receipt of the money, then you release the goods to her. Okay. Precisely. So in that, so now using Bitcoin ecosystem, for example, the cryptocurrency ecosystem, people who have cryptocurrencies on an exchange go on the exchange and say, okay, listen, I have 100 USD Tether to sell, or 100 Bitcoin to sell. And then people who want to buy that Bitcoin or buy part of that Bitcoin come and say, okay, I want to buy 10 of that Bitcoin. They then send the money directly to the seller. They don't send it to the exchange. They send the money directly to the seller. And then when the seller confirms receipt of the money, the exchange releases. Actually, in reality, when the seller confirms the receipt of the money, the exchange releases the coins to them. Do you understand? I hope that's as kindergarten level exactly. Now, in this process, the buyer and the seller fixes the price at which he wants to sell. Okay. And so normally when you log into the peer-to-peer platform, you see multiple sellers with multiple prices, and different buyers come in and say, okay, I want to buy this price, I want to buy this price, etc., etc.
All right, interesting. I mean, it's great hearing it from that point of view, because sometimes these things can sound really complex, and you sit down there with a dazed look on your face, wondering what exactly are they even talking about. But it's good to have those who are well versed in these matters to break them all down. That's why I said, talk to us like we're in kindergarten. That's the best way to actually understand these things. Karla, we're going to continue on P2P and talk about whether or not it's a necessary practice, going forward. But we need to take a quick breather right now. On the other side, we'll get back into the group and the conversation on the marketplace right here on Smooth 98.1. Don't go anywhere. All righty, so far so good. When Brad came in, we're wondering
who is Brad?
Who is Brad? Because we're expecting.
Oh, sorry.
We got confused.
I was like, who is the boy that is coming to join us? So hey. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
At the point where we were, we just had to get in because of time.
Like, okay, you know what? Let's just go
wait.
with it. If it's not our guess, well, we'll know how to go.
We'll find it out.
If it's Brad, it's Brad. It's Peter that means expect you to come in here. All right, let's get back on. All right, welcome back to the second half of the marketplace right here on Smooth 98.1. Your love music, love live station, 33 minutes past 5 p.m. We're having such a great conversation this evening talking about Binance, P2P trading, and of course, we'll be talking about the Naira as well. There's no way we'll talk about this without bringing the Naira into the loop. And our special guests are still with us this evening in the persons of Peter Iyen. He's a cryptocurrency trader, as well as Karla Obakpolor. She is the founder of Crypto Smart. And you can be a part of the conversation, as always, by sending your thoughts in on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 440 981. 0809 440 981 is the WhatsApp number. You can also join us on the live stream because we're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM. You can see what we are looking like in the studio, decked up in our winter best as we continue the conversation. And like I said earlier, before we went on that quick breather, we're talking about peer-to-peer trading, and Peter was gracious enough to explain to us. Now I feel like I know exactly what it's all about, you know. And I said I was going to come to you, Karla, and to ask the question, is P2P trading a necessary practice? I mean, since stable coins actually exist?
Yeah, it is. The reason it's a necessary practice is because it's actually because stablecoins exist. Not everybody would, apart from the centralized P2P systems that we have, like Binance, there are also unofficial P2P systems like we have that happens on various WhatsApp groups, that happens on various Telegram groups. We're a group of people who actually do trust themselves, come together and trade amongst themselves. Not everybody would be able to understand how decentralized exchanges work or how centralized exchanges work to be able to go get your USDT yourself or your Bitcoin yourself. Some people would actually just need help by going to a certain group and saying, oh, I need this XYZ amount of USDT. And then I will send you this amount of Naira. So it's some sort of trade by barter thing. The only difference now is that there is a rate to work with. So people need to understand what the rate is. If the rate is 1,500 on the market at the moment, it means that people would probably sell to you at 1,500 or even buy from you lesser than 1,500 so that they can make a markup in profits. What's happening right now is crypto is being treated as a commodity, not as an asset, not as a currency, as a commodity. Like you sell bags, like you sell shoes or whatever.
Buy and sell, buy and sell.
Exactly, just buy and sell. There are people who started their careers in the crypto space like this. You didn't even need to have the crypto. You didn't need to have the Bitcoin. You didn't need to have the USDT. All you need to do was connect somebody who wants to buy to somebody who wants to sell, and maybe add 10 Naira or 5 Naira on the rate. And you are in business. It's just for you to know people, and you're able to get a markup on whatever it is that you are selling. So it's actually essential because there is USDT, because this crypto exists, and because they're essentially commodities.
Great way to highlight that and explain it as well. But I want to know, Peter, as well as Karla, but I think I'll start with Peter first. What do you make of the Nigerian government's blocking of crypto trading platforms because of the P2P trading? I've seen all the drama.
To be honest, I understand and I support where the government's from, and I understand where the government's coming from, and I support the move because what was happening is that people started to speculate on the Naira, i.e., everybody, myself inclusive. If you had any small amount of Naira, even 100,000, 200,000 Naira, which is $100, you simply go on a P2P platform and you buy Tether and you wait because everybody believed like that, oh, Naira would always lose value, and if you sleep 1 or 2 days, you make at least, an extra 5,000 Naira, extra 10,000 Naira. Now, what this does is that it puts artificial pressure on the Naira, which would now really affect, which would now cause the Naira to fall and ultimately affect the prices in, the shops, affect food inflation, affect goods inflation, affect the inflation in the real world. Now, if I didn't have ease at which I could just sitting on my computer or using my phone, buy dollars from or buy an asset that's tied to dollars, I wouldn't do that. And that demand wouldn't be there on the Naira. Because ordinarily, people who buy dollars are buying dollars because they either want to import goods, they want to pay school fees, pay medical bills, buy tickets, or do whatever it is they want to do. But people don't typically buy a currency just because they hope it's going to lose value, it's going to gain value the next day. Now, once that started to happen, no country in the world can have a situation whereby all their citizens are buying a foreign currency and they will be able to defend that currency. It's practically impossible. So, in as much as I would always be against government stepping into these sorts of things, given the situation that the country was in at the time, or we're probably still in right now, I can understand where the government is coming from. And it was the responsible thing to do. The adults needed to step in. And I think that's what the kind of thing we were having too much fun.
Okay, said that adult needed to step in. Interesting way to put it. But Karla, I want to know, with all the speculation that happened with, oh, buy this, don't sell this, and all that, and the pressure that was put on the Naira, what's your take?
Okay. I think it's funny though, because I don't think that I think this was a temporary thing, because the trades, let's look at it categorically. How many percent of Nigerians actually use crypto, and how many percent of them actually do P2P on Binance? The free fall on the Naira, I don't think it was as a result of just Binance activities. We saw some things that happened during the election period last year. We saw some things that had happened with our own currencies. Some of the activities that had happened with CBN, changing the Naira face, and then saying this would happen, and the next thing we know, something else was happening. We saw some of the rumors, and I don't think that it is a result of just Binance activities or just crypto activities. I feel this is still going to happen if our government doesn't do the right thing, which is the kind of exports and imports that we have on our balances. What's happening with other sectors? People go to crypto because you go to the bank and you want to get dollar, and it's not accessible. I hope we know that people don't only just buy crypto or USDT for certain activities. The people who need to pay school fees abroad, and you go to the bank and it's not there. You're essentially opening up a new market for the Naira to continue losing value, because what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to bring influx of this dollar into the country and then place a demand. So whoever it is that's bringing dollar, you need to use Naira here. But what's happened is, at the end of the day, you go to the banks for help. So probably you want to pay school fees for something, even if they're giving you a higher rate, which is better with the Naira, because you're sort of like giving more value to the Naira. It's just not available. And there are some people who have it accessible to them because of the kind of connections that they have. Crypto is just like the next available thing. I go on certain platforms and I can pay with Naira and send the dollar to whoever it is in a different country, and have some persons pay my school fees. I mean, the remittances that we have into this country are also part of the ways that families are able to send funds to their that people are able to send funds to their families here, and the money is being spent here. It's not taken from here and sent back. So it's sort of like you are trying to cut off the full hand because the mini finger has a problem. What you're supposed to do is solve the actual problem. Don't fight the smoke. Actually do fight the fire. Because the same Binance that we're talking about, their remittances that come into the country. the people who send thousands of dollars into the country, the people who are building houses here, because it's easy for them to send money here and their families are able to employ others, build and do other things. And then you just go and stop all of it because of one thing that happened during one period. And I don't think it was entirely the players at Binance. Yes, people were speculating on yes, that was true. People were speculating on the Naira. It was affecting the Naira, but I think it was a short-term thing. I don't think the kind of approach that the government took was should be the type that should have been taken. Probably allow for currencies to be sent in rather than just block the whole thing. That's my take.
All right. Peter, I'm going to come to you now and talk about Bayo Onanuga, the special advisor to President Tinubu on strategy. He suggested a $10 billion fine would be slapped on Binance, and he later retracted the statement, saying that he was misquoted by the media. Now, can a platform that is not registered in Nigeria with no offices actually get fined at all?
Well, they wouldn't fall under the jurisdiction of Nigerian courts. But I do believe that it's possible that wherever it is to be registered, Nigeria could potentially make a case. Now, obviously, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't speak to that authoritatively. But if you look at the oil industry, where you have a lot of oil upstream sector of the oil industry, where you have a lot of businesses operating unlimited in Nigeria, i.e., they're not registered within Nigeria. When people have grievances with those companies, they tend to take them to their home country. So I think with Shell, you have cases being taken to the Netherlands because that's where they're registered. So if the company is registered in, I don't know what country Binance is registered in, but whatever country Binance is registered in, if Nigeria did have grievances with the activities of Binance, then Nigeria, the federal government could take
it there.
The cases to those home countries. So yes, technically, if we wanted to, yes, we could go after them if we had strong enough evidence. Yes.
Okay. All right, but since that's where we find ourselves and seeing how time is almost fast spent, I want to know, what are your solutions for actually strengthening the currency?
I started at me, I guess. Okay,
yeah. You can have a go at it before.
All right, yeah, sure. To be honest, I do think in as much as I understand where Karla is coming from, I do think what the government is doing is right. It's because they needed to cut off the artificial demand, one. Okay. Secondly, apart from the artificial demand, what peer-to-peer platforms were doing, they were creating a reference price. So everybody wakes up in the morning, logs into Binance P2P, and I'm talking people that sell dollars on the street, right? The BDCs and all that. They log into P2P, they see what the P2P price is, and they're like, oh, okay, this is what we're going to sell for. But then nobody seems to ask the question, how is this P2P price being set? Is it people, and this is where the government's argument about manipulation comes in, i.e., is it people that are deliberately fixing a higher price? Because really, I can fix the price at which I want to sell. Is it people that are especially fixing a higher price and
the market?
Everybody is not, or is it the market? Is it actual demand and supply? Now, if as the government has done, they've cut off the P2P arm. I think CBN came out and said they can supply at about 1,300. If they can meet the real demand, i.e., school fees, medical bills, imports, car imports, whatever, if they can meet that demand from the supply that they're getting, i.e., oil sales and other exports that we meet, then the price should hover around that level. But then, obviously, only time will tell how these things will go. It's also very possible that the government has got it totally wrong, and the demand-supply imbalance is totally out of whack. But then I don't think a currency that has fallen 50% in 9 months is based on real demand and supply. We have not doubled our imports in the last 9 months. That just doesn't make sense. So
I see Karla wants to also add her own view.
Yeah, I kind of look forward to hearing what she has to say. But yeah, so yeah, I think things will normalize going forward. I believe so, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
All right, Karla, as run up the conversation, share your thoughts on this, because I know you're ready to go.
Yeah, the first thing he talked about, which I really resonate with, how are these rates set?
Determined.
The other time, someone was trying to ask me, oh, please, I need USDT. And I'm like, I need to check what the rates are. And he sent me a Twitter screenshot. I was laughing, like, okay, so how do we know the rates? But the problem is, you go on CBN's website, And I am on CBN's website right now, and I'm trying to find the rates, the actual rates. What's the rate? What rate can I say I want to use for whatever trades that I want to get? I'm not seeing the right one. I'm not even seeing year to access. I'm seeing a chart of different rate periods. And then I'm seeing that, okay, now US dollar buying right now is 1,543. And then yes, that's it for buying at the moment. But we know that sometimes you come here, the rate that you're seeing here is not what's there.
It's projected there.
The time, as at last year when CBN banned Aboki FXT, that was where we used to go to check for rates and all. And from our own, like for us who trades in the space, OTC and all, we usually go there, check CBN's own. There's a little bit of tally. You can see, you can trust that, okay, yeah, this is from CBN. But then again, to go another step further, how are these rates set? How do we not know it's just CBN by themselves? Like the way we set certain platforms, set APRs on DeFi platforms. You go there and say, okay, speculation, this is how much the rate should be. So in the real sense of it, y'all all speculating. Both the guys who are trying to make a quick buck on the Naira and the regulation service themselves, the CBN themselves, because it's not decentralized for us to know that, oh, this is the amount of imports that have come in, this is the amount of exports that have come in. So we can know how much it is that rates should be at the moment. But at least on the blockchain, you're able to see the APIs are there. Everything is being updated in real time. So the same kind of distrust that we have for the CBN is the same kind that they have for the platforms. I think the first thing we need to do is remove that area of distrust. Let's come clean and find out, how do we actually determine the rate for our currency? And what are the metrics to determine them? That's it. Thank you.
A lot of questions, and these are questions that need pertinent answers to as soon as possible. We've come to the end of the conversation this evening on the Marketplace. Thank you so much to our special guest, Peter Iyen, and of course, Karla Obakpolor. She's the founder of Crypto Smart. Great talking to you guys this evening. I feel like a man reborn with new knowledge.
Indeed.
You've spoken to, like, yes, you are in kindergarten. Break it all down to the basics. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. All right, do have yourselves a great evening. And thank you for being a part of the Marketplace on Smooth 98.1. The Smooth Drive with Ayo and Joy will continue. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.